Hey everybody, this is Korey Rowlson with 5 Star Real Estate, and I'm with the Korey Rowlson Group. And I just wanted to take a moment and kind of give you a little bit of insight into electric vehicles and real estate, and how when looking for a home, it's important to look for certain key aspects when it comes to what's going to work best with an electric vehicle. So first off, I've owned two different electric vehicles in my time, and the first one was a Chevy Volt with a V, and that is a vehicle that used electric energy to be charged and would give you about 40 miles of range, and then it would switch over and use gasoline for the rest. And I had that back in around 2013, 14, somewhere in that time frame. And then now, currently, for the last 2 years, I have owned a 2020 Chevy Bolt, and that one is going to give you a electric range completely. So there is no gasoline; it's strictly electric, and that one has been a really good option for us. Now, when we had purchased our Volt with a V back in the day, I guess you could almost say, we ended up getting a home charger, and we did not use it between vehicles, but it was still in the home. We just had the circuit breaker turned off, and then when we got the Bolt, we were able to just use the same charger, and that's kind of a nice feature, is that the chargers are mostly interchangeable. Uh, Taking a look at taking certain things into consideration, like Tesla is going to have its own adapter tip that's different. So I just wanted to give you again kind of a rundown on how this is going to play in when looking for a home. So as an agent, I have that insight. Now, when you're looking for a home, you're out looking at all these other things that are important to your family. But one thing that you're going to want to look for is obviously a place where you can leave that vehicle and charge it. Now, obviously, no matter what vehicle you own, you're going to have a place where you have your vehicle. Now, the thing you have to determine is this going to be indoors or outdoors? In Michigan, I would highly recommend having an indoor space for charging an electric vehicle. So, looking for a garage of some sort is the first step. Now, once you have your garage in the property, or you have a garage on the property, however you want to talk about it, you're looking for something where you have electricity already in the garage. So if it's there, great. If it's not, not a problem. You just got to add it. Now that's going to cost, obviously, so take that into consideration. So when you're talking about having an electric vehicle, you have a special type of charger. There's actually two options that I'm going to talk about today. First, you have a level 1 charger, which is your traditional 3-prong outlet charger. So you're going to have that can plug in anywhere. That's like your, I guess, kind of like a vacuum or a toaster, things like that, where you've got 3 prongs. That'll be, what the first one comes with. Now, that level 1 charger is going to add about 4 miles of range for every hour that that vehicle is plugged in using that charger. Obviously, that's not very conducive if you're driving a long ways, because if you think, even if you left it plugged in for 8 to 10 hours overnight, and it only had roughly 40 miles worth of range. Now, there is another one, which is a level 2 charger. This uses more of like a dryer outlet type of voltage. So that is going to give you about 25 miles of range. I think that's called the 220 or 240, either way. So when you get in and you have that one charged, if you leave that charged for, say, 10 hours, you're talking about 250 miles worth of range it can add in that time frame. So that gives you a rough barometer when I say 25 or 4 miles per hour added. Now, obviously, they're going to use different amounts of electricity when you have a level 2 versus a level 1. Now, most homes won't already have that. So when you get a home and you're looking to add a spot for an EV, you're just looking for something that's going to have the capacity to add it. So either there's already like a welder outlet, a dryer outlet, or a generator outlet in the garage that might already be wired. Now, there can be different amperages for those circuits. So when you trace that line back to the power panel, you're going to see maybe it's 30, 40, or 50 amp breaker for something like that. So you're going to want to make sure you talk with an electrician and you talk with the manufacturer about what type of amperage that vehicle that you have is going to need, and make sure that the breaker is accurate and that the line running to that outlet is accurate. So running a new line would also guarantee that you have the right amount there. So you're looking, if you have a garage that doesn't have one of those outlets already, then you're just going to have a new line ran to be in the right spot. And that can be a little bit costly as well. Not too terrible. It's a small investment for the savings you'd be making. So then once you have that, you're also going to check and see if the home has a sub panel in the garage where you can add it and how many amps are in that sub panel. And then you're also going to check the primary panel in the home and see how many amps are in that. So your main breaker is going to determine how many amps are in that panel. So older homes may have something as low as 60 amps, which would not work. So you need to upgrade your panel, which would cost you. A 100 amp panel, I believe, would work from what I've read, but you'd want to talk to an electrician to confirm that. 200 amp panel would definitely work. So if you have a 200 amp panel and you've got an open spot for a double circuit breaker, which takes up two circuit breaker switch spots, then you're going to have enough amperage to go to the outlet. Now, a charger can either be a plug into the wall type, where you can take it just like any old accessory and put it in your car and travel with it and plug it into another outlet that's similar. So it can have a plug on the end, or it can be hardwired and have like a holster and everything like that right on the wall. So either one can be a level 2. You just have to decide which one is right for you. So that's kind of the breakdown. If you have to add an electric panel, budget for that, or upgrade, obviously for that. If you have to add a sub panel in the garage so that you can have the right type of breaker and everything, that is going to be another type of cost you got to budget for. And if you have to have a line ran from your main panel to your garage, from your sub panel to where you're going to have the car charging, those are different costs, plus the cost of actually purchasing a charger. Now, chargers that are level 2, I've seen plug-in ones and things like that you might be around $200 to $500 as of right now as I make this video. They could be a little bit higher depending on what you're looking for specifically, but that gives you a rough ballpark range as to what to expect for just adding that part. Now, the wiring and everything else, you may have to expect a couple $1,000 depending on what you're looking into. So that's why it's important when you're looking at a home to understand what you're thinking about having to add and how that could cost you down the road as you set up. So if you do have any other questions, feel free to reach out. It's just kind of a nice little starter video that I think kind of ties real estate and electric vehicles together that may be useful for you. So I hope you're doing well. Take care. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.